Hi friends, as you can see, I'm controlling Train Simulator with a Midi-pad from AKAI. Here's the gas. Station is coming. Press the horn. Hit the brake. I'm already slow. I'm not the best train driver, by the way, as you can see. Okay. Let's come to a stop. And open the doors. With this one, wait for the stop. Doors are opening. Turn off the wiper. No, wrong button, sorry. This is the interface down here. The HUD. Where is it? Don't remember. Well, the direction lever. The brake is not applied in this kind of train. And the fuse. This I forgot also. It's that. Okay. How can this be done? Just watch this video. First of all, many thanks for your feedback and your suggestions of the for the initial version of MidiKey2Key. Now, this here is the magical thing, and if you never heard about MidiKey2Key, make sure you watch the first video that tells you the basic use of that program. For now, I'm show you the version 1.9 with many new features and bug fixes. And let's talk quickly about the bug fixes. I have a title and activated by OBS. The bug fixes. So there's only small things. The channel listeners here, 1 to 16, they did not save, but nobody complained it. I found it, and now they are saved in the settings. And the second thing is, if you have an action and react on the second value, it's used rarely. Normally, you only react on the first value, the first data value. This was not stored, it didn't work, but nobody complained because you won't use it very often. So now, what's new? The great new features. Yeah. Where to start with? Okay, you have had one settings file, your settings in it that stored all your settings and the settings of the actions, the key actions, the MIDI actions. Now you have multiple actions. If you start MidiKey2Key the first time, it just stores automatically its settings in the settings ini in your documents folder, and that's it. Now you can have several inis or or settings file. And where are they? In the file menu, you can now load a different settings file. Here we are, documents, your username, documents, MidiKey2Key. You can load a different setting and save as a different setting. You don't need to type any. In the end, it does it automatically. They all need to be here to be found automatically. And then, second new feature is you can start up MidiKey2Key with a special settings file. If you have a shortcut like this, just add at the end a name of a path, my setting, any. If it has white spaces, you need to surround it with these. Okay. So now it will load my setting. This file is not existing in this example, but you can load. You can easily create a shortcut like this. And it starts at your desktop. And name will be, for example, new setting. So, and as you can see, it made a shortcut and called it new setting. And yeah, it sets the actual ini file. This is the default right now, as you can see in the headline and the top line of the program settings ini. Therefore, it just says settings. Okay. So multiple settings files. The next thing is, since I'm using this AKAI pad APCmini, this one has the feature to let the buttons light up, which the Cognano pad didn't have. And well, it needs to receive MIDI commands to light up the buttons. In that case, it wants to have note on events. And you can have 3 colors, green, red, and yellow, and same blinking, and you can turn them off. So MidiKey2Key needed to send out MIDI. And here we are. Now you can choose the output device for sending out MIDI commands. This is the old input, and now you need to have an output device. And now when you have an action fired, you can, in addition of a key command or start program action, now define a MIDI command that is sent it out, and you can send whatever you want. I'll show you that later. You even can send 2 different MIDI commands. They toggle each time you fire the action. Next thing is the mirror MIDI. This is just a small feature. It mirrors the MIDI into the MIDI out. In the case of the APC, it does nothing because I need to push the start button. You see, it mirrored my in command of that key, and that lets the AKAI APCmini turn on the green default light. When I press it again, nothing happens. It stays now on at that state. That's the mirror out. That's new. Yeah. Beside the edit the action that you choose here. Besides this, now you have a test button. You can test your action. Let's start text editor to see what's happening. Let's test the view button from the train simulator. Now the problem is, if I push the test button with the mouse, the editor loses now the focus, and you won't see the letter I'm typing. Then let's go to yeah, this action that, as you can see, that pushed an action to OBS. Now that's for testing. That's new. And also new is now these the name, or as it was shown, the actions was the MIDI bytes. And now APC84 is my reminder. This is 8.4, this knob. And now you can name your action. It's down here. Whatever you want, hit save, and the name will appear now in this list. You can now better find actions if you have a lot like this. Now, next new thing is if you have a start program action, watch the first video to check this out. Now you can choose the state of the action. Of the program started. Normal is just a normal window, max is the max window, maximized and minimized, done, or even hidden. These 4 states you can store, and the program that you want to start by an action will have this window state. Some users want to fire up a command box like cmd, or let's define a new action. Let's take the top here. I call this round right 1. I'll find it and test. That's the first thing. And we want to have a program action, a command window, no working directory needed, and this is the command. I do a ping now. First in normal state, save. Okay, now hit this one. This is opening the window in the normal state. Now edit this action. Maximized is maximized, as you can see. Well, and you can believe me, the other actions minimized or even hidden are also working, but you won't see anything. Let's turn that off. So, and if you now have a send MIDI action defined, the program works now as a universal MIDI converter. It listens to a special input MIDI event and then sends out any MIDI out command or even sequences, as long as you wish, of MIDI commands. This is done with this new tab, Send MIDI. And there are many controls, but it's easy to handle. First of all, activate it. Now this is still our test button. To light this up, I know it's 9052. This is the note on and the number of this. And now 01 makes it green. The round buttons, I believe they only can be green and these only can be red. So the other have 01 up to 06 for the colors and blink and not blink. So now the MIDI command I put in is 9052.01. That's it. It all will be sent all the time. So this would have an effect just on the first time, because it stays now on. You won't see a difference. For this, I have a toggle. Section B is a command that will be executed the next time. So 90, 52, 0 to turn it off. Off, on, off, on. So these buttons here are defined to change the views of Train Simulator, and these to change the scenes of OBS. You see this one becomes red and the active one is green blinking. Now this needs, when pressing this, an action of 7 commands that makes them all steady green and this one blinking. I have this in the 8.1. So this is the command. You see they are all 2, 5 in the end, except the first one is the 3. Second time is not defined, it's only the first time. And then if we check all the others, where's the 8.2? Anyway, they are all 5 to, oh no, this is this one here. It's the view to, oh. They're all set to 1, except now the second one is set to 2 to make it blink like this. So if we edit then our test button here up in the corner again, this is what you can do just by typing any commands. And if you do a second command, just 1 space and please nothing else. So this is executed very quickly. But if you want to wait a little, you can add a pause in milliseconds. So let's say 300. Oh no, now it adds this in the end. It's just where you can cut this out. Oh no, I messed it up. So like this, it always puts commands in the end. Now it, since this color command means off, then wait 300 milliseconds and then turn on the green light again. Check it out. Doesn't work. Why is this not working? Oh, pushed the totally wrong number. 52. It turns on after 300 milliseconds. You can create sequences of hundreds of commands with a pause in between, so you could turn the whole matrix of lights into showing letters and scrolling left to right and create light shows just for fun. So if you won't use the input pad manually by typing in hex commands, you see now it's only numbers, but it's still bytes of hex. So after the 9 comes 9A, 9B, 9C, and so on. You can remove the last, or oh, I hit the save thing now, or remove everything. Oh, this was not a really not a command. So just type in RR is a valid command to remove last or clear all. So if you don't like to type in manually, you can use these input boxes. Now node on is the first thing, and you can, if you know the hex value of a key, you can just use this or choose the key down here. Node on, and then node on needs another value. If you push add, so please enter a value. This is the velocity. 25. Add. So then let's turn this node on, or just let it sound for half a second, and then turn it off. Off needs no data, but doesn't matter if anything is in. So, and that's it. This will play C3 for half a second, then turn it off. So now, let's stop this and use the wavetable synthesizer. And I'm not sure if you hear it now in the video. Just give it a try. You hear that? Yeah. So you can even play songs like this. So this is node on, node off, the most common things you will use. But you can send everything, and if you know something, just type it in. Sysx commands are not included here. Another thing is channel mode messages. These are preformed all nodes off. Would be this command. It doesn't need any data, so this is disabled. Local on off, reset all controllers, omni mode on off is just without any data fields. It is a built-in command. Polyphonic aftertouch. These types need to have which note do you press and how strong is the aftertouch. The monophonic aftertouch, channel aftertouch, only needs how much is the whole keyboard pressed and aftertouch. There are many MIDI controls possible. Control changes are very huge in number. Some require two commands in a row. Some require a 14-bit data, or the most of them require 7-bit data. MidiKey2Key just takes anything you type in up to 127. So everything will not make sense. You need to be an expert for MIDI to know what you do. But as you can see, if you know about MIDI, you can do a lot with this, or just type anything in manually here. Add pauses in between with this field, or by typing P and whatever, a number of milliseconds. This is now MIDI out. The main job is to light up MIDI controllers by sending a command to it to have a reflection what you are doing, like this, changing scenes in OBS or whatever. This is the great new feature, and yeah, many users asking about what about controllers like these, like faders or turning knobs. And I responded, well, this is a thing they need to fire out many MIDI commands in a row, and I don't know how to do it, or will it make sense? And as you could see in the intro video, it is working, and this is maybe one of the best new features. Now you can send or respond to a controller and fire up key commands. It just fires key commands, as you can see. This controls the gas of the train, A for plus and D for minus. And as you can see, yeah, it even works in this window. We won't save this. Now, how is this been done? Define a new one. Let's take this. You start, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th controller. Just move it and double click now on the event it created. I recommend giving it a name. Fader 5. So it sends keystrokes, yes. And you just put the first keystrokes. It will send when you increase the lever. Yeah, let's just send a Q or Shift Q. And now hit the controller action box. And now the response is brought to the second. This is the value for decrementing controller value. So now again, press the blue button and press your other action. As you can see, this is now coming here. If you want to change this again, you can just type in anything manually, but when you want to use the blue thing, it's always when this checkbox is on, it will manipulate this input box. So turn it off and change it here. When you turn this checkbox again off, your Shift W is not lost. So this is just the easy thing. Now you have 2 keys defined. This will be fired when the new value of by moving a controller is higher, and if you move the controller fader down, the new value is lower, and then the Shift W is fired. Now, these 2 things are very important. The keyboard delay is 100, does a good job on just controlling programs, and some users told me OBS Studio is not responding to MidiKey2Key, and only when it has the focus. And when you use your keyboard, it works even if it has not the focus. So I found out if you have a very low keyboard delay value, you can even set this to 0. That means key pressed down and up in the same moment. My OBS Studio is responding at about 40 and 50 milliseconds. So, and if you go lower with the keyboard delay, it will just respond on any actions when it is in focus. So that's a performance problem, and all systems are different. Now, when we want to have a controller action like this, put it down all the way. First of all, check 0 and leave the multiplier to 1. That means the controller will have 127 values from the bottom to the top, and the multiplier set to 1 fires up 127 times the key press, so 1 to 1 with no delay. Save this and check it out. If now set the focus to the editor and move the fader. See, I put in a new line. Fader down creates W. So, and if you set the delay to 0, this reacts very quickly. So, but if you want to control a game, it's different how they respond. train simulator is special. It needs a little longer key press to react to move the gas lever. And so I put this to 10. That's a thing you can experiment with. It even works on just a single key press, no controller action. You can type in a value, then let's the key down for this time you put in before it releases this to make a key press longer. But there's a problem. I don't know why so far. If you put it too high, over a second or something, the program will not longer respond. I don't know what it is. Maybe it can be fixed in the future, but I think it's not really important to have this right now. So the keyboard delay, let's see when we put it to 10, what will be the difference? Now 10 doesn't really make a difference. Let's put it a little longer. Set it to 80. See, you really don't want that by controlling any software, but who knows, you might need it. Always start with a 0, and the keyboard events will be fired up immediately. So the second thing is a multiplier, and that's still experimental because I can't really do anything I want to. As mentioned, the MIDI standard is 127 values, but if you have a lever in a software that has only 5 or 6 different states to control, you will set the multiplier lower, let's say to 1.2, and this is not a point, it's point or comma depending of your country. I'm in Germany, so I need to type in a comma. So I have the multiplier lower than 1, and now this is the max. You see it. It cuts the maximum numbers. Set it to 0.1. It cuts the amount always in half, and that's the only thing it can do, because it has to count the input events. As you can see, they are coming single, one by one, and it has just to count 10 times to wait. Now I'll fire up another keyboard action. So you cannot have you cannot have every value you wish. Last test of this, 001. It just produces 1. Okay, if you want to have more than 107 events, you only can double or times 4, times 3, times 4, times 5. You cannot do 1.5 times. You can send an event or you cannot send. You cannot send half of an event. So let's put this to 3. And it will produce 3 times of 127. So, and different software is different, but you can control any software with it that responds on key presses. Oops. I'm sorry. A crash. I wanted to press the edit button. I don't know why it crashed. Need to check this out. So set the multiplier to 1 and you will have a 1-to-1 respond on your lever of your controller. Set it lower than 0.5 will only produce about 66 key events, and put it higher in whole numbers, not 1.5 and 1.7, just 1, 2, 3 will produce 2 times, 3 times, 4 times of the maximum. So I hope now that's it with the new controller actions. Controller actions, we talked about sending MIDI. Yeah, if you use an old version of MidiKey2Key and you use your old settings ini, they did not have the keyboard delay value. So if you just use it, open it up and use your Midi-pad, the program will crash because it doesn't have the keyboard delay in your old ini. So if you do so, create a new ini, start at 0. I show you this right now, how this can be done. Start at 0, then everything will be fine. Or take your existing ini, in that case is much. Open every action with edit. It will get a default of 100. Decide if this is okay or not, and hit save. And if you do it with all your actions, they will have then a keyboard delay and the program will not crash. As I said, start fresh will be like this. Go into your documents folder and let me get an Explorer and rename or delete your existing settings in the MidiKey2Key folder. It's here because if it doesn't see, any settings it will create a new one. And also I take this, my setting, it was all the time saying I can't find my settings. Sure, it doesn't exist without any parameters. So start up MidiKey2Key. And best practice is to start it up and close it. Then a new settings ini is generated. And from then, you can start making actions. It's also recommended if you have an existing, let's open existing, this train simulator thing has some actions. And you decide to do a new game or whatever. And you edit stuff like this and changing things and hit save and then say and save all of this as a new setting. You can do that, but remember now the settings name that's here written in the top line, train simulator, is already changed on all the actions because you hit save. Anytime you edit an action and hit save, this setting is written into the actual settings file. So when you want to build up a new setting based on, let's say, this one, at first hit save as and then start editing the actions. That's the better practice, and you won't lose the settings of your actions in the old file. So that's it for now. All the important URLs will be shown down there for download and for the other video, for the basic video, which I recommend to watch first, and the homepage for download and for your respondings. Okay, this is the script. I can provide it, but it's very simple. This just does the makes 64 MIDI events for the AKAI. This down here is just for to have the created sequence in the clipboard. And this is a little weird. VBS don't have any clipboard commands, so it uses Internet Explorer, who now runs the script and then put the result in the clipboard. And therefore, this is all the code down here. The script here just creates the events. You can say set pause to 1 or 0. That means, will I have a pause in between the events, 0 or 1, how long the pause is in milliseconds, and then decide what extension do you want to have. And I think this is red. And out, no, it's nothing. So these three, the extension is the last value. So if I run the script now, it sets a pause of 75 milliseconds in between all the events, and that sets all the lights of the APC to 3. Let's create quickly a new event. Oh, no device is selected because I started with a completely new. Yeah, then take this little square button, which does not have a light. Start, press it once, take the node off, the node on event. Do nothing. Just take this send MIDI. And where's the script? Now let's run the script. It's set to 1. Pauser. There it is. Here's the result, and at the same moment, this is put into your clipboard. So paste it in and delete the last pause. Okay, then put it to B to turn all the lights off with a lower pause value. It goes quickly, more quick. 15 and 0. Save. Start. I do not know why this takes so long, and sometimes, there it is. It's only because of the clipboard. This you could, no, you cannot copy this. Therefore, you need the clipboard. Anyway, now we paste in this, delete the last pause, P15, and that's it. Now we have these two sets, and what will happen? Let's have a look right here. It turns on all the red lights with the pause of 75 milliseconds in between. When we hit it the second time, it removes them, but quicker because of the lower pause. So you can create your pictures. This little script, if you want to download it, I don't know. It's just a little thing to me. Write in the comments of the website or down here, but I like more the website. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.